From silver dimes before 1965 to modern era coins, some dimes are worth way more than face value. Want to learn which ones? Hit like and subscribe. I've got more valuable coin tips coming your way. The 1982 US 1 dime coin may seem like an ordinary piece of change, something many people passed along without a second thought when it first entered circulation. But what lies beneath its surface tells a very different story. Coins from this year are fascinating not only because of the economic backdrop of the early 1980s, but also because of the unexpected mysteries and varieties that turned a simple 10-cent coin into a rare collector's treasure. While most dimes from 1982 are only worth their face value, certain rare conditions, unique varieties, and minting errors have propelled a handful of these coins to staggering auction results. In fact, some examples of the 1982 dime have sold for anywhere between $52,000 and $126,000. A shocking reality for a coin that was originally designed to serve as everyday pocket change. The design of the 1982 dime continues the series first introduced in 1946, honoring Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States. Roosevelt's leadership during the Great Depression and World War II left an indelible mark on American history, and his likeness was chosen for the dime partly because of his efforts to fight polio and his association with the March of Dimes, a national fundraising campaign. John R. Sinek, the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint, designed the coin. On the obverse, Roosevelt's profile is depicted facing left, with the inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date. The reverse of the coin features a torch, flanked by an olive branch on the left and an oak branch on the right, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. The inscriptions E Pluribus Unum, United States of America, and 1 dime encircle the design. BY 1982. The Roosevelt dime had already become a fixture of American coinage, circulating for over 3 decades. But this particular year brought significant changes that make its coins especially intriguing for collectors today. The early 1980s were a time of transition for the U.S. Mint. Rising metal costs and production adjustments meant that the Mint was experimenting with ways to keep coinage affordable. In 1982, the dime was struck at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, with the Philadelphia coins traditionally lacking a mint mark, while Denver coins carried the familiar D mark. However, 1982 became famous for one of the most significant minting varieties in modern numismatics. The missing mint mark dimes. A small number of 1982 Roosevelt dimes from the Philadelphia Mint were released without the P mint mark that should have been included. This error occurred because the dies used to strike these coins were not properly punched with the mint mark before being put into service. As a result, these dimes look just like regular coins but are missing a key identifying feature. Collectors quickly realized the rarity of these pieces, and demand skyrocketed. Today, the 1982 no-mint mark dime is one of the most celebrated modern-era coins in U.S. history. When it comes to value, the 1982 no-mint mark dime is where the numbers truly astonish. In lower circulated grades, they can be worth hundreds of dollars, far more than face value. But in higher mint state grades, especially when certified by professional grading services, they become extremely rare and desirable. This is where we see the jaw-dropping auction results, values reaching between $52,000 and $126,000 depending on condition and collector demand. These figures reflect the combination of rarity, error status, and pristine preservation that make certain 1982 dimes so valuable. Part of the fascination with the 1982 no-mint mark dime is the thrill of discovery. Many of these coins were released directly into circulation, meaning someone could easily have received one in change from a grocery store or gas station without realizing its worth. Stories exist of people who saved pocket change from the early 1980s, only to discover decades later that one of their dimes was worth tens of thousands of dollars. It's that possibility that a fortune could be sitting in an old jar of coins or tucked away in a forgotten piggy bank that excites collectors and non-collectors alike. But even beyond the missing mint mark variety, the 1982 dime carries other features that can enhance its value. Full bands examples, where the horizontal bands on the torch are fully struck and separated, are considered rarer and more desirable. These sharply struck coins demonstrate a level of craftsmanship not always present in mass production and thus earn premium values at auction. Additionally, errors like off-center strikes, die cracks, and planchet flaws add uniqueness and intrigue to certain 1982 dimes. driving up their collectability. To understand why a dime from 1982 could be worth as much as $126,000, it's important to consider the psychology of collectors. Many coin enthusiasts participate in building complete sets of a given series, like the Roosevelt dimes. The missing mintmark 1982 dime is a crucial key to completing such a set, and its scarcity means collectors will compete fiercely to own one. When competition heats up, prices can soar to remarkable levels. Auction houses have documented intense bidding wars, where determined collectors push prices higher and higher for a chance to secure one of these elusive coins. What makes this story even more compelling is that the 1982 dime serves as a reminder of how the smallest oversight at the mint, a missing mintmark, a minor variation, can create lasting value. For the mint workers of that era, it was a small mistake. For collectors today, it's a gold mine. It underscores the beauty of numismatics, the blending of history, human error, and chance into something priceless. The broader context of 1982 also enriches the story of the dime. The early 80s marked a turning point for the U.S. economy, as inflation and recessions defined the era. People were counting every dime and nickel, making these small coins an important part of daily life. The fact that an overlooked coin from this period has become one of the most valuable modern errors only adds to its mystique. It connects the everyday struggles and habits of that time with today's collecting passions. Collectors often recount their first encounter with a 1982 no-mintmark dime as a life-changing moment. For some, it marked the beginning of a lifelong passion for coin collecting. For others, it was a financial windfall, turning a pocket change discovery into thousands, or even tens of thousands of dollars. The magic lies in the unpredictability. You never know when you'll stumble upon one, and that thrill of possibility continues to fuel the legend of the 1982 dime. For modern collectors, the lesson is clear. Every coin deserves a second look. Something as small as a missing letter, an extra line, or a sharper strike could transform a common piece into a rare and highly valuable treasure. The 1982 dime, with its missing mintmark variety, proves this lesson in dramatic fashion. The story of this coin doesn't just belong to numismatics. It belongs to American culture. It symbolizes how even in a mass-produced, modern world, rare and exceptional things can still slip through unnoticed, waiting for someone to uncover them. It also speaks to the human tendency to treasure uniqueness and to pay extraordinary sums for it. So the next time you come across a dime from 1982, pause for a moment. Study it closely. If it lacks a mint mark, you could be holding one of the most valuable coins of modern American history. That little coin, barely larger than a fingertip, could transform from 10 cents into a prize worth between $52,000 and $126,000. That's the thrill of the hunt, the magic of collecting, and the enduring legacy of the 1982 dime. The story of the U.S. 1989 one-dime coin is a perfect example of how something so small and ordinary can hold a value far greater than most people would ever imagine. Every single day, millions of dimes pass through our hands, slipped into vending machines, parking meters, or simply tossed into a jar at the end of the day without a second thought. Yet hidden among those countless coins is a remarkable truth. Certain 1989 dimes, because of their rarity, minting errors, or flawless preservation, are worth far more than 10 cents. Some rare specimens have fetched jaw-dropping amounts at auction, with values ranging from $46,000 to $118,000, transforming what many see as pocket change into life-changing treasure. To understand why this particular year has captivated collectors, it helps to know the background of the dime itself. The Roosevelt dime, first minted in 1946, was created to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt after his death in 1945. The design by John R. Sinek featured Roosevelt's profile on the obverse, with the inscriptions Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the year of issue. The reverse displays a torch in the center, flanked by an olive branch and an oak branch, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. By 1989, the design had been in circulation for decades, and Americans were so accustomed to seeing it that they barely noticed the coin at all. But numismatists, coin collectors, pay attention to details that most people overlook. In 1989, the U.S. Mint produced dimes at 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint coins bore no mint mark, Denver coins carried the D mint mark, and San Francisco struck proof coins for collectors with an S mint mark. While the total mintage numbers were in the hundreds of millions, making the 1989 dime seem common, the reality is that certain errors and rare high-grade examples have propelled specific coins into the realm of incredible value. One of the reasons coins from this year are so fascinating is the role of minting errors. The US Mint has strict standards, but mistakes still slip through. Some of the most desirable 1989 dimes include double die strikes, off-center strikes, and coins with misaligned dies. These errors create unique characteristics, such as letters or numbers appearing doubled, designs partially missing, or coins struck on the wrong planchet. For example, a dime struck on a copper penny blank would look dramatically different and instantly attract collectors. Such an error combined with the date 1989 could turn a common dime into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery worth tens of thousands of dollars. Another factor that drives the value is condition. Most 1989 dimes entered circulation immediately and were used for decades, accumulating scratches, wear, and damage. Finding one in mint state condition, perfectly struck, lustrous, and free from marks, is rare enough. When those perfect examples are graded by professional coin services and achieve top designations like MS67, MS68, or even higher, their value skyrockets. Add in a rare error or variety, and suddenly you have a dime commanding prices between $46,000 and $118,000 at auction. Collectors often share stories of finding incredible coins in the most unexpected places. One tale involves a hobbyist searching through rolls of dimes from a local bank. For hours, nothing stood out until a single coin caught his eye. Under magnification, he noticed doubling on the inscriptions and a flawless surface. When graded, it turned out to be an extremely rare variety in near-perfect condition, and months later it sold for an amount most people couldn't believe. A sum that fell right in that astonishing range of $46,000 to $118,000. Stories like this fuel the passion of collectors, proving that treasure can hide in plain sight. Think for a moment about what these values mean. A dime that once sat unnoticed in a cashier's till or rattled around in someone's pocket can suddenly become worth as much as a luxury car, a down payment on a home, or even a child's college education. That is what makes the world of numismatics so exciting. It is not just about owning coins, but about uncovering history, rarity, and value where no one else thought to look. The history surrounding 1989 also adds depth to the story of this coin. That year, the world was undergoing dramatic changes. The Berlin Wall fell, symbolizing the end of the Cold War. The United States was experiencing shifts in its economy and culture. Coins minted during that year become time capsules, tiny reminders of a world on the edge of a new era. For collectors, owning a rare 1989 dime means holding a piece of that pivotal history. It's not just metal. It's memory, legacy, and heritage combined. For most people, a dime doesn't inspire much thought. It's so small, so ordinary, that it slips through unnoticed. Yet this is where the magic lies. Because when one of these rare 1989 dimes shows up, it shocks everyone. The idea that a coin worth 10 cents on its face can be valued at $118,000 shatters expectations and ignites imaginations. It's this kind of revelation that has made coin collecting such a beloved pursuit across generations. At auctions, when one of these coins comes up for sale, the atmosphere is electric. Collectors from around the world compete fiercely, bidding higher and higher as the price climbs into the tens of thousands. Each bid represents not only money but the recognition of rarity, history, and the thrill of ownership. When the hammer finally falls and the coin sells for a staggering sum, it becomes a headline event in the numismatic community. Everyone remembers where they were when they heard about that particular coin sale. Even today, there's a chance that one of these valuable 1989 dimes is sitting unnoticed in a drawer, a piggy bank, or a jar of spare change. Every collector knows this, and it's why so many keep searching. The possibility that a life-changing discovery could be waiting in an overlooked coin keeps the passion alive. It's not just about the money. It's about the excitement of the hunt, the story of the coin, and the knowledge that history can hide in the smallest details. The lesson here is clear. Never underestimate the coins in your possession. Take a closer look at those dimes from 1989. Check the mint mark, examine the details, and consider the condition. Because while most of them will only ever be worth their face value, the rare few can change everything. And if you're lucky enough to find one, you might be holding a coin worth between $46,000 and $118,000. A reminder that extraordinary treasures often hide in the most ordinary places. The US 1989 dime stands as a symbol of how much mystery and potential is hidden in everyday objects. It's not just a coin. It's a piece of history, a collector's dream, and for a lucky few, a ticket to unimaginable value. In the end, it teaches us that paying attention to the smallest details can sometimes reveal the greatest rewards. The 2001 one-dime coin, often overlooked in daily life as just another small piece of change, carries with it a fascinating story that has made collectors stop and take notice. While most people pass dimes through their hands without a second thought, some examples of the 2001 Roosevelt dime have proven to be worth a fortune. A coin that usually buys nothing more than a small piece of candy or sits forgotten in a drawer can, under the right circumstances, reach values from $38,000 to $104,000. That is the kind of revelation that makes collectors search through their change with a sense of excitement and curiosity, knowing that treasures are sometimes hiding in plain sight. The Roosevelt dime has been an important part of American coinage since 1946, introduced to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who guided the nation through the Great Depression and much of World War II. His legacy of leadership and his role in founding the March of Dimes, a program dedicated to fighting polio, made the dime the perfect denomination to carry his image. By 2001, the Roosevelt dime had already been in production for more than half a century, with its design virtually unchanged, a tribute to the stability of both Roosevelt's legacy and the coin itself. But even with billions of these coins minted over the decades, certain years stand out, and 2001 became one of those memorable years for collectors. The U.S. Mint produced 2001 dimes at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, as well as specially struck proof versions at the San Francisco Mint. Billions of coins rolled off the presses, ensuring that the coin would remain common in circulation. Yet within this enormous number of dimes lies the rarity that makes the coin so intriguing. Most of the dimes are worth face value, but it is the rare mint state examples, perfect proof strikes, and dramatic minting errors that transform an ordinary coin into one worth tens of thousands of dollars. Condition plays a massive role in determining the value of a 2001 dime. Coins are graded on the Sheldon scale, with mint state MS coins at the top. The difference between a dime graded MS 65 and one graded MS 69 or higher can mean thousands of dollars. The finest examples are often kept in pristine, untouched condition, showing razor-sharp details and brilliant luster. These top-grade dimes are scarce, and when they come to auction, collectors fiercely compete to add them to their sets. Registry collectors, in particular, strive to own the very best examples, and this competition drives up prices dramatically. It is this pursuit of perfection that has pushed some 2001 dimes into that astonishing range of $38,000 to $104,000. Errors are another key reason why some 2001 dimes reach such staggering values. Error coins occur when something goes wrong in the minting process, creating a coin that is distinct from the billions of others. For the 2001 dime, several striking errors have been recorded. Off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing, attract strong collector demand. Double strikes, where the coin receives two impressions, create unusual and highly collectible varieties. Even more exciting are coins struck on the wrong planchet. There are known examples of dimes struck on penny blanks or foreign coin planchets, making them incredibly rare and valuable. These error coins bring a level of uniqueness that collectors cannot resist, and their scarcity ensures that when they appear at auction, they sell for extraordinary sums. The year 2001 itself adds an additional layer of meaning. As the first year of the new millennium, many collectors see coins from this year as symbolic, a marker of transition into a new century. Beyond that, 2001 is remembered as a year of profound change and emotion in American history. While the dime itself does not directly commemorate these events, coins minted in years of great historical importance often carry extra emotional weight for collectors. That connection between history and coinage only increases the appeal of coins like the 2001 dime, giving them more value than just their rarity or condition. Auction results over the years have told the story of just how special some of these coins can be. When a top-graded 2001 dime or a spectacular error makes its way into an auction house, bidding often becomes intense. Collectors and investors recognize the rarity, and they know that opportunities to acquire such coins may not come again for many years. This sense of urgency fuels high bids, and it is in these auction battles that we see the prices climb into the remarkable range of $38,000 to $104,000. Stories of collectors walking away with a dime worth more than a new car or even a small home spread quickly, fueling further excitement and interest in these coins. What makes this story even more captivating is that some of these valuable dimes have been discovered in everyday circulation. People checking their change, searching through rolls from the bank, or examining coins from old collections have occasionally stumbled upon rare examples. The thrill of finding a coin worth thousands among common pocket change is one of the greatest joys in numismatics. It is the possibility of discovery that keeps collectors searching and makes coins like the 2001 dime such an exciting part of the hobby. The Roosevelt dime has long been a symbol of American resilience and leadership, and the 2001 issue serves as a reminder that even modern coins can hold immense value. Collectors treasure these coins not only for their monetary worth, but also for the stories they tell about history, artistry, and chance. As time passes, coins in top condition will only become scarcer, ensuring that their values will continue to rise. Owning one of these rare dimes is not just about having a piece of money. It is about possessing a piece of history, a symbol of what makes coin collecting so rewarding. The 2001 one-dime coin is living proof that treasures still exist in the most ordinary places. From a coin jar to a cash register, the possibility remains that someone could encounter a dime that turns out to be worth a staggering $38,000, $75,000, or even $104,000. That kind of possibility transforms the way people look at their change, encouraging us all to pay attention to the small details and never underestimate the hidden value of everyday items. For collectors, the 2001 dime is a coin that represents opportunity, rarity, and excitement. For everyone else, it serves as a reminder that even the smallest pieces of change can hold great value if you take the time to look closely. It is this blend of history, chance, and reward that makes the story of the 2001 Roosevelt dime so compelling and ensures that it will remain a cherished part of numismatic history for generations to come. The United States 2007 one-dime coin might appear at first glance like just another piece of everyday change, something you might toss into a vending machine or find rattling around in the cup holder of your car. But what many people don't realize is that hidden among the billions of dimes struck in 2007 are examples so rare, so pristine, or so unusual that collectors are willing to pay staggering amounts of money for them. Imagine holding a dime worth not just 10 cents but anywhere between $32,000 and $82,000. That kind of transformation from pocket change to treasure is what makes the story of the 2007 dime one worth telling. The dime as we know it today carries the portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, a design introduced in 1946 after the death of the 32nd president. Roosevelt, remembered for guiding the nation through the Great Depression and World War II, was also associated with the March of Dimes campaign that helped fight polio, making him a fitting symbol for the smallest denomination of U.S. coinage. By 2007, the Roosevelt dime had been in continuous production for over 60 years, striking a sense of familiarity into American pockets and purses. Yet even with that long history, certain years and certain coins stand out, and 2007 has its own place in the numismatic world. The year 2007 was a busy one for the U.S. Mint. Billions of coins were produced to keep up with the needs of commerce, with dimes struck at both the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint for circulation, and proof versions struck in San Francisco specifically for collectors. The design was the same as it had been since 1946, but behind the scenes, collectors know that not every coin is created equal. Tiny differences in striking quality, mint errors, or simply survival in nearly flawless condition can make one dime far more valuable than the billions of others produced alongside it. Let's start with condition, because for coins like the 2007 dime, condition is everything. Most coins enter circulation and quickly show wear. They rub against other coins, pick up scratches in cash registers, or get pocket-worn until their surfaces lose their original luster. But the small fraction that avoids all of that, the ones pulled fresh from rolls, sets, or discovered by careful collectors before they ever see real use, can remain in almost perfect condition. These coins are sent to professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, where experts examine every detail under magnification. A dime graded MS68 or MS69 is nearly flawless, with sharp strikes, clean fields, and glowing luster. For a modern coin, achieving that grade is exceedingly rare, which is why when one surfaces at auction, collectors are willing to bid tens of thousands of dollars. This is how a coin worth a mere 10 cents on its face can suddenly leap into the value range of $32,000 to $82,000. But condition isn't the only factor that turns an ordinary 2007 dime into something extraordinary. Minting errors play an equally dramatic role. Errors occur when something goes wrong in the striking process, and for collectors, these mistakes are treasures. An off-center strike, for example, can leave part of the design missing and part of the blank planchet exposed. A double die error might create doubling on the date or lettering, giving the coin a unique and unmistakable appearance. There are even dramatic cases of dimes struck on the wrong metal planchet altogether, something meant for a different denomination, creating a truly one-of-a-kind coin. These error coins are beloved by collectors because they're not just rare, they're accidental works of art, and a 2007 dime with such a mistake can command astonishing prices. What makes these stories so engaging is the element of chance. Billions of dimes were struck in 2007, most perfectly ordinary, most destined to be spent and forgotten. Yet within that massive production, a handful slipped through that were different, better preserved, mistruck, or simply special. These are the ones that collectors hunt for, the ones that transform into treasures worth $32,000 to $82,000 at auction. The idea that you might hold such a coin without realizing it is what keeps people checking their pocket change, examining rolls of coins from the bank, or searching through old jars of spare change at home. The 2007 dime also has historical context that adds to its appeal. By 2007, America was in a transitional moment, just before the economic crisis of 2008. The coinage of this period reflects the stability of traditional designs like the Roosevelt dime, even as the mint was experimenting with new programs like the Presidential Dollar Series and the State Quarters program, which had captivated collectors and the public alike. Against this backdrop, the 2007 dime feels like a bridge between old traditions and new innovations, making it an important year for those who collect modern U.S. coinage. Auction stories bring this reality into sharp focus. Imagine a collector walking into a sale with a 2007 dime graded at one of those top levels, or featuring a striking error, and the room suddenly buzzing with energy. Bids start modestly, but then climb higher and higher as multiple collectors compete for ownership. What begins as a coin worth just a dime suddenly passes the $10,000 mark, then $20,000, until finally settling somewhere between $32,000 and $82,000. The hammer drops, the crowd murmurs in awe, and another chapter is written in the story of how a tiny coin can hold such massive value. These real-world moments prove just how serious collectors are when it comes to securing the rarest examples. Even for those who aren't seasoned collectors, the story of the 2007 dime carries a universal appeal. It's the idea that something so small and overlooked could be a hidden treasure. It taps into the same excitement that drives treasure hunters, lottery players, or anyone who dreams of sudden fortune. Every time someone picks up a dime dated 2007 and looks closely at it, they're participating in that same hunt, wondering if their coin might just be one of the extraordinary ones. There's also a long-term perspective to consider. As time goes on, more 2007 dimes will inevitably be lost, damaged, or worn down, which only increases the relative rarity of those in perfect condition or with unique errors. This means that values could continue to rise in the future, making today's rare 2007 dimes potentially even more valuable tomorrow. Collectors know this, which is why they're willing to pay such high prices now. It's not just about ownership, it's also an investment in something they believe will hold or grow in value. The lesson here is simple but powerful. Never underestimate the coins in your pocket. A dime is more than just small change. It's a piece of history, a work of art, and sometimes an unexpected treasure. The 2007 dime is proof of that, with certain examples valued between $32,000 and $82,000. It's a reminder that hidden gems still exist in the most ordinary places, waiting for someone with a sharp eye and a bit of curiosity to discover them. So the next time you find a dime dated 2007, pause before spending it. Hold it up to the light, check the details, and consider its condition. Because while most are just worth 10 cents, a select few could change your perception of value forever. Somewhere out there, another 2007 dime is waiting to surprise the world, just as others already have, turning small change into a priceless piece of history.